Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Today, the training session, we're going to start out with some soft tissue work to prepare our body for weightlifting. And then we'll do a little bit of strength training for the feet for a good foundation. And today, the focus is pressing with weights and also strengthening the legs to give support to the knees. We're going to start for the first 10 minutes or so. If you could please get a massage ball, or you could use any kind of a ball, a tennis ball, a golf ball. The firmer balls are a little more uncomfortable. So if you're new to the soft tissue type work, a tennis ball is usually the best way to start. We're going to first just roll out the feet. And for those of you who might have issues with your plantar fascia, many people get relief just by doing this. Although this rolling the ball is not really going to strengthen your feet, it will though help to get better flow to reduce inflammation if you have that. So now we're going to work on the gluteal muscles. We're only covering two basic areas today, the buttocks and also the upper back. So if you are able to come to the floor and move around on the floor, you can do that option, or you can do these also standing. The first area we're going to work on here is around the buttocks. If you need to stand, you would be just at the wall and put the ball like this into your buttocks against the wall. If you can come to the floor, this time you'll sit on the ball basically. And if you don't mind, we'll go through this together. So you can just kind of roll it around as you like to, but I like to be more specific into making sure we get all the different muscles that in the tendon attachments to the bony structures. So if we could start on the right side, and if we put the ball between the tailbone, your tailbone and your leg bone. So those of you who have sciatica, and this morning a new person sent me a message saying, hey, I heard you know some things about sciatica. So here's the first part. And if you roll the ball up vertically, you'll notice there's a bony structure. It's like a wedge, and that wedge is the sacrum. And at the edge of the sacrum, the piriformis, most of you have heard of the piriformis. So if the sciatic nerve, if it's pinched by the piriformis muscle, then you'll get the pain down the back of the leg. So we'll just kind of release the piriformis here. And then vertically, so the people at the wall, you would stand with your back to the wall, and you'd like to feel, here's like the horizontal rim, the iliac crest of the pelvis. And you'd like to turn on the floor, you might turn a bit to the side. Again, at the wall, you just stand basically back to wall. And gradually work your way along that bottom edge of the iliac crest. This is where the glutes attach, the gluteus maximus, medius minimus, and the tendon attachments that attach the muscle to the bone. And when you find a tight tendon, or it feels like a big knot, then you could either just put pressure onto it and relax a little bit, or you can kind of go side to side over it. Some people like to move up and down, whatever you feel comfortable with. And often people will feel radiating pain down the leg or in other areas. So that's just your nerves are, of course, responding to the fact that you're helping to release and get better flow. Now, if you could turn more to the side, especially the people at the wall here, you need to turn directly sideways. And directly here at the side, you can feel there's this corner of the pelvis, okay? So it's kind of the horizontal and vertical edge where they meet. And the gluteus medius muscle often gets quite jammed up in that area. And again, you might just put a little pressure if it feels very sensitive, and then take the pressure off. And next, again, directly onto the side, if you could go take the ball further down, and where your leg attaches, there's a crease here where your leg attaches into your hips. And if you could turn a bit forward, the muscle here is called the tensor fasciae lacta, the TFL. And that muscle attaches to the IT band, which is a band of connective tissue between the hip and your knee that gives support to the femur, the leg bone. Okay, so now we're going to turn again towards the back. So if you're standing at the wall, back to wall on the floor, if you continue slightly on the side and work around the edge, you can feel that kind of curved out structure of the socket of the hip. And then if you come more to the back again, you can feel the edge of the top of your leg bone, the top of the femur. Just like if you think of a dog bone, that top is a bit curved. You follow that curve back around to the starting point. So you've worked the whole perimeter of your pelvis. And then if you'd like to, just roll around a bit, depending on what you've been doing a lot of sitting, a lot of walking. Basically, our hips will always get a bit tight. And it's important to loosen them, but you don't want them to be weak, right? My message really is that if the tissues are weak and you stretch them, they'll just rip apart. So basically, we want to release tension, but at the same time, build up strength. Okay, that was fantastic. Now we're going to do the left side. Okay, so we'll start low. The people at the wall, you kind of need to angle forward so that you can get right beside the tailbone, back to wall. So start between at the edge of the tailbone, left side, between the femur and the coccyx, and gradually work up vertically along the sacrum to release the piriformis. Okay, and when you get up, you can feel the rim of your iliac crest of the pelvis. And now you might turn slightly to the side. The people at the wall, you mostly will be facing back to wall right now. The people on the floor start turning a bit sideways. And from day to day, it will change. If you've been playing tennis, then you might be a little bit tighter on one side than the other side, or golf, or of course gardening will make your hips get tight too. Then a little bit more to the side. And people at the wall directly sideways to the wall. And if you could find that corner in the pelvis, the upper corner, and work your way down along this side edge. So when you get lower, now you're getting in towards the socket of the hip where the leg bone sits in at the TFL. And here again, for many people, this is a really sensitive area. Almost take your breath away kind of sensation. But imagine if those tendons are so tight that your leg's not going to be able to move properly, obviously. So it's important that we take time for this issue. And then if you work again further down the nail, we'll go down around that corner of the pelvis where your leg attaches and sits on the hip. And then towards the back again, around the leg bone at the top. So you're sculpting here your buttocks. And then down back to the starting point, and then a little bit just in the soft tissue, whatever you'd like to do. So the next area we're going to work on is the upper back. For those of you who are standing, it's very comfortable. And you might do this throughout the day, even if you put the ball inside a big sock like this, and you can throw it over your back and just place the ball. The area we're working on is right between the shoulder blade and the spine. We'll do one side, and let's all again start on the right side. So the first area, if you can get here, is the levator scapula. It's a muscle that attaches the shoulder blade up to the neck, the bones in your neck, the cervical spine. So it often gets kind of caught right here, upper trapezius also. So at the wall, you have to angle back like this a little bit and try to get into this corner right at the base of your neck. Let's do right side. On the floor, if we put the ball in that corner, that you can actually get really good pressure. I would bring the right arm up if that works for you, if it's comfortable. And then if you on the floor lift the hips up, you can get right on top of that corner. And here, if you turn your head towards the right, you're working on the right side, then the muscles will shorten and release and relax, so you can get deeper right into the joints. And here again, if there are restrictions in the connective tissues of the fascia, you may get referred pain down your arm, tingling down the arm, or up into your head, into your big toe. depending on wherever your nerves are being affected. And now if you could take your time here, work down along, if you could feel, try to get a sense of the edge of the shoulder blade. And often, many times actually in my life, people have made this comment when they're working on these muscles between the shoulder blade and spine, and they'll say, oh, but that's a bone because it feels so hard. So it's actually should be a little bit soft like a muscle, but often does get quite stringy or like a cable. And now turn toward the side. Here, so right where your arm bone attaches into towards the shoulder blade into the torso. So here are the external rotators of the rotator cuff. And that's why often when our shoulders rotate in, like when you're sitting at the computer, shoulders rotate forward and in. So these areas become restricted and actually overstretched. So we need to re-strengthen the external rotators, which we'll do with our strength training. And again, here, when you find the spot, let's say the infraspinatus muscle, teres minor, that it's often quite shocking and breathtaking. Okay, now we'll do the other side. So left. You're at the top, the base of the neck. And if you can bring the left arm up and try to lean back into it so you can get right on top of the muscles at the base of the neck. And turning your head toward the left this time. If it's uncomfortable, I would always just reduce the discomfort, stand up and do it against the wall. Fine. And just obviously, you would just reduce the pressure. For those of you who are new to this kind of work, that the first time generally it's like super sensitive, everything is so like delicate. And as you work on it and the tissues become healthier, it's never going to like be really comfortable, not that. However, it'll be more manageable because the tissues will be stronger and also healthier, regenerate the quality of the strength of those quality tissues. And then now by the armpit on the side. And you might notice one side feels a little different than the other. So obviously, when we're doing this, you're going to help even out these discrepancies, right side, left side, front, back. All right, so you can do this all day, but we're going to stop here for now. In other classes, we'll do some more stretches for the same areas. If you're on the floor, just protect our backs, hips back to heels. Hinge up on the knees, left leg forward, make sure you're centered. Always working on protecting our spine and knees. All right, so now we're just going to start with glute for hip strengthening work. And some people will not be able to lie on the floor when we do the classes, some will. So I'm going to offer options for both. And if you're like a very accomplished athlete, you would just do more reps and do heavier weights. But the same basic programming is really beneficial for people of all levels, world class right down to those of us just trying to keep walking. Okay, so the first series we're doing is a hip lift series. And if you have a medicine ball, that would be great. If you don't, no harm, you could use a tennis ball or a golf ball, as I said. And if you don't have any kind of a ball thing, then you might use a pillow instead. Okay, I'll just quickly go over the options for those who cannot be on the floor. The chair options will be sitting in a chair, like this ball in between the knees for the first option. Second set will be only one side glute activation, then the other side glute activation. The fourth set is a band if you have one. If you don't, that's okay. But a band around the knees, and you simply push the knees away from each other with a hold. Okay, those of you on the floor, if you have a stretchy band that you can put around your knees, that would be great. If not, we'll just skip it. If you have some kind of a ball or pillow, that would be great. If not, again, we'll just skip it. You can do the same moves with just your body. So the purpose of this exercise is to strengthen the muscles in your buttocks. The first position is ball or pillow between legs. The arms, okay, on the chair, you might have your hands across your chest. On the floor as well, you can do this. Have your arms by the sides. My favorite position is arms behind head, palms down. Palms are facing the floor. Okay, so the action is simply squeeze your glutes together and then lift the hips, hold, inhale, exhale, down. Glutes together, inhale up, exhale down. For today, we'll use that pace. Glutes together, both right, left, inhale, lift, exhale down. If your hamstrings are cramping, that would indicate that you're bypassing the gluteal muscles and grabbing with your lower back and hamstrings. So you could just squeeze your glutes together, hold for your breath, and then release, or continue glutes, hips lift, hold and breathe, and release. Glutes. If you could focus on engaging right and left simultaneously, hold at the top, inhale, exhale down. Focusing on deep breathing. Now, another element here is people sometimes hyperextend their backs, which means the back arches. So as you lift, engage the glutes, feel like the lower ribs stay down into your body as you lift the hips. Every time recover at the bottom, glutes engage, hips lift, hold, and exhale down. Slow, deep breathing. Engage the glutes, inhale. Deep inhalation, ribs are down. And exhale, and down. One more. Recover. Just relax the legs. The people in the chair next, if you, no pillow, no band, simply sit tall, and you're going to engage, focus on the right side. See if you can get the right glutes to engage, hold for your breath cycle, and then release. On the floor, if you have a small ball or no ball, if you could put the right foot is on the floor, left leg, hold on to the knee. Small ball, you could put the foot like this on the ball and hold on to the knee. If you have a bigger ball or a pillow, you would wrap the leg around the ball. Okay, everyone ready? So the floor group, hold on to your knee, relax your shoulders. Everyone, right side, engage your glutes. On the floor, pull your knee in as you engage the glutes, slightly lift the hips, you won't go high. Inhale, exhale, on the way down. Deep breath, inhale as you lift. Get stable at the top and exhale, slow and controlled on the way down. Keep the shoulders relaxed. And again, if the hamstrings, the back of the legs are cramping up, then you don't have to do the lift component, just focus on getting the glutes to activate. If the glutes here, if they're not stabilizing your leg in your hip, then the knee will torque when you're walking, your lower back will over-rotate. So often this exercise, and of course many things that we do in our classes, help to hold your leg in the hip socket properly to help alleviate back issues and knee issues. A couple more, keep the shoulders relaxed. Engage the glutes first, then initiate the lift, keep the knee in. Some people will feel a pinch in front of the left hip, the lifted leg. And if your hip flexors are tight, restricted, that's a good thing, you're releasing your hip flexors. All right, fantastic. Now we'll switch to the other side. So the people in the chair, you just simply engage the left glutes, hold that for a breath cycle, then release and recover. Floor group, this time the ball's on the left leg, right leg, either foot on the ball or hold on to the knee. Everyone hold on to that right knee. Okay, now first, the left foot, make sure the toes are pointing forward. Keep the big toe pressing into the floor, keep the arch lifted. Don't let your foot angle out. Okay, good. Now hold on to the right knee, square the hips up, be careful that you're not leaning over to the left. That's it, relax the shoulders, pull your right knee in, engage the glutes, left leg, hips lift, hold. And now if you could focus every time before you lift, squeeze your left glutes and then initiate the lift, that's better. Keep the right knee pulling into the chest as you lift. If it feels harder, it's just that the left hip is weaker than the right side. I would say it's quite common to feel a pinch in the right hip flexors in the front of the right hip. If you notice that you're wobbling a lot, don't worry about how high, just engage the left glutes, only do what you can with those muscles stabilizing the pelvis. And as you lift up and down, stay centered. Be careful of dropping down to the side. Excellent. Relax the shoulders again. And breathe. And recover. That was excellent. Okay, so now you can put the ball away. Now the band. So the people who are in the chair, if you could just put the band, my preference, so what I like to do is to have the band below the knees, because I find that helps to stabilize your ankles and knees along with the hips. Some people prefer above the knees, right directly over the knee, whatever feels best for you, but this is my favorite position here, just below the knees. Okay, now there are two options. Either simply you engage your gluteal muscles, push the knees out, hold for your breath cycle, then take the tension off. Or, as we've been practicing, same concept, engage the glutes, push the knees away, and lift. And then hips down. Now, as we've been practicing, that as you lift, keep the ribs in the body. Be careful of the ribs flaring up. Slow and controlled, engage the glutes, inhale, lift, hold. Exhale down. Focus here is to be centered. Knees out, you feel your glutes are activated prior to lifting, ribs down. Keep the glutes engaged all the way back down to the floor. Stay centered as you land. Right side, left side, evenly engage. Hold and breathe in and breathe out. As you land, center. Perfect. If you feel it in your thighs and the top of your legs, you might bring your feet closer to your hips. You should not be pushing off your thighs. You might feel a stretch in your thighs, the front of the legs, but you should definitely not be feeling that those muscles are working. Right now we're working on the muscles on the outside of the hips. If you don't feel that, if you could bring your awareness there, bring the focus there. And if that's hard for you to do, that's okay, because the muscles haven't been strengthened appropriately. We're going to work on that. Okay, last one. and recover. Great, so take the bands off, we're finished with that. So next we're going to work on upper body strengthening. If you're on the floor, please roll over to the right side, all the way over to the right. Bring the left leg all the way around before you start lifting. Right elbow, left knee. There you go. Okay, come up on the knees. Okay, now this time right leg forward, get centered. And up we go. Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to work on chest pressing. And this will, for the tricep people, this is a real priority exercise. Option one, for those of you who have shoulder issues, we're just doing a hold. It's for 30 seconds, 1 minute hold to strengthen the tendons around the rotator cuff. If you could, we'll all do this as preparation, standing at the wall, standing vertically, arms are just slightly wider than shoulders. Shoulders down from the ears, push the wall away from you so you feel tension down the arms. Left arm down, right arm hold. Make sure your body is square forward. Switch, left arm up, right arm down. Make sure you're square forward. Straighten the left arm so you push the wall away so you feel tension. Really stiffen the arm so you feel that even the tricep muscles here are engaged. So option one is simply an isometric hold to strengthen your arm. And if you are able to be on the floor and lift the weight, we're doing chest pressing with only one weight. So it's a one arm chest press. So if you don't have a dumbbell or a kettlebell, then I suggest just get a can of soup or a water bottle, something that's slightly weighted. In our everyday lives, and I really like people to be aware of this fact. I mean, we're moving around all day. We're in the kitchen, or driving, or playing tennis, or in the garden, all kind of all really beautiful things. We're fortunate we can do it. Golfing. And all those activities, there's a lot of movement, which is obviously good. However, we also need to stabilize and make sure our joints stay in place. So that's the purpose of why we train with this protocol. We want to strengthen the tendons to hold your joints together and make your muscle tone build and your bone density build. We're going to start with right arm. So the people at the wall, as we did, you just stand like this, right arm, stiff arm, so you feel the muscles are engaged. On the floor, I'll demonstrate right arm press. To set the position, you start with the right arm up. Right leg straight, left leg bent. Shoulder blades slightly together, slightly down. Elbow to the floor, hold, inhale, exhale, press, inhale, exhale. At each end range, hold, stabilize, breathe, press, hold, stabilize, breathe. Just continue that pace. At the wall, just simply hold. I'm counting 15 reps at my pace. And recover. That was awesome. Okay, second set here, left arm. So at the wall, as we practice, simply left arm hold, shoulder down from the ear, strengthening the tendons in the rotator cuff. On the floor, this time left arm. Start with the arm up, right leg bent, left leg straight. Shoulder blades slightly down, slightly together. Elbow to the floor. Inhale, exhale. Press, hold, inhale, exhale. Take your time, deep breathing into the diaphragm. Keep the chin tucked a little bit. Good, and recover. That was set one. We're going to be doing 2 sets, right and left. The people who are at the wall, this time if you could set your arm up like this at a bent elbow position. But the same concept, you simply hold, and that will strengthen the tendons at end range. The people on the floor, and actually everyone, this set, okay, we've got the shoulder blades together, down, stabilize the upper back, that's good. Next thing I really like to focus on is the position of the arm, the elbow. So through the entire movement, the fifth should be directly over the elbow joint, and the elbow just slightly to the side. If your elbow is too wide, your shoulder internally rotates. If your elbow is too close, your shoulder blade will come up your back and the shoulder internally rotates. So we're strengthening external rotators. Elbow should feel a comfortable angle, about 45 degrees. Many times the people I've worked with who used to have a lot of clicking and crackling and all stuff in their shoulders, often it just clears up and even completely goes away. Okay, so it's an alignment issue generally. We'll start right arm now. Now, if you right leg straight, left leg bent, why we do this is to build up our core support. Left hand on the abdomen. Okay, here we go. Right arm, elbow slightly to the side. Inhale, exhale, press, breathe. At the top, the fist is over the elbow. At the bottom position, the fist should be over the elbow. People often let the weight drop toward the shoulder, so make sure at the bottom, weight is over elbow. Okay, good work. Okay, so now left arm. So the wall group, the left arm hold. Bent elbow. The fist again in front of elbow ideally. Floor group. Focus. Start with the arm up, left leg straight, right leg bent. As the elbow comes to the floor, about 6 inches to the side, the weight directly over the elbow the entire time. Notice if the weight starts falling in towards your stomach or your shoulder. Take your time. Know that right now you're working on stabilizing your joints, your shoulder, your elbow, your wrist. Strengthening those tendons so they can tolerate the gardening and golfing. Recover. Good. Okay, one more set here. The people who are not lifting the weight, this time if you can sit in a chair, and you'll please focus at exactly the same thing we're doing with the floor, lying down. The arm starts here by the side, just elbows by the side, press and hold, bend and hold, extend and contract. On the floor, actually everybody, here, the focus please on the full extension of the arm. One factor of why the biceps and triceps don't strengthen appropriately is because the biceps are somewhat dominant. So when you extend the arm, you need to fully straighten the elbow, but the rotator cuff. So if your biceps are tight and the triceps are comparatively weaker, what will happen is first you don't want to straighten your arm. But then, okay, I'm going to straighten my arm. So the next thing is the biceps will pull the shoulder forward like that. So the shoulder lifts up. So there are two competing elements here. Shoulder back and straighten the arm is going to be a bit tough, but then you'll really feel your triceps engage and you'll strengthen your rotator cuff. Right arm, everybody. This last set of this one. Right side, then left side. Okay, so right leg straight, left leg bent. Shoulders down from the ears a bit, elbow to the floor, hold. Push up, straighten the elbow, but keep the shoulder back. And take your time, hold each position, get stable. That will give your tendons enough time to strengthen and get the joints in place. recover, last step. Now, there's one more factor here, which we haven't thought about, but when you're holding on to this weight, because it's heavy, regardless of how heavy it is, it's still heavier than your arm. So you're building up strength and muscle and bone density. Left arm. Because when you lift something and hold something for a long time that's heavier than you, your bones will adapt by making stronger bones. So let's do that. Left arm. Left leg straight. Take your time. Keep the shoulder back to the floor. Straight to the elbow. Deep breathing. And rest. All right, that was really good. Everybody just recover. Good work for you. Now we're going to do a series of lunges to strengthen our legs and actually give support to the rotator cuff. But prior to initiating that, we're going to please just do one exercise for the feet. So those of you who are on the floor, if you could stand. Now, all of us, we love going walking, running, all these activities. And obviously, if the feet are not strong enough, your plantar fascia will break down. There will be torquing through your knees and hips and the rest of your body. So having a good foundation is absolutely critical. And we're hoping to prevent issues in the future. And if you have some, let's help them get better. Now, many of us have this, it's called a toe pro, and it's a simple little platform thing that's angled, and because of the angle, it allows you to work when the muscles are in their lengthened position, as opposed to just horizontal when they're not fully lengthened. And that's been shown to be a factor of balance and just basic strength building. But so if you don't have one of these, no harm, skip it. The other option is if you could hold on to a weight. What we're going to work on is the medial lateral stabilizers, the inside and the outside of the ankle joints, to strengthen the plantar fascia Achilles tendon. If you have a toe pro, it's like this. You'll have to hold on to a wall. I would definitely suggest not trying to do this freestanding. There'll be too much torquing through your knees and spine. If you don't have a toe pro, you could use a lightweight, anything. We're going to do 4 different positions. When we do these exercises for the feet, you can either do this, like you come up and down onto the toes, heel the toes, a little bit of a lift, or you simply stand with one foot up and press the toes into the floor. And as you do that, you'll notice that your arches will immediately engage. So it's either up and down or just hold, press and release, press, release. Today we're working on the diagonal vectors. So first is the right foot. So if you have the toe pro, it's sloped down to the right, we'll put the right foot on it. If you don't have a toe pro, you would like this, hold on to the weight with the right hand. Left foot up, and definitely hold on to the wall or a door frame, whatever you have available, a counter. Right leg, if you would keep it straight but not locked. And either press the toes and relax, press the toes and relax, or rocking, heel outside of foot, baby toe to big toe, as you come back down, big toe, baby toe, outside of foot to heel. Make sure at the top that the big toe presses firmly throughout these foot strengthening exercises. The focus is to prevent your ankle from overpronating. You don't want your arches to drop. We want to strengthen our arches here. Relax the shoulders. Whenever you're fatigued, walk. Like just totally recover, okay? Take your time. Definitely you should feel, your calves, your ankles, your feet, everything's working hard. That's it. Okay, recover. So if you have a toe pro, let's turn it around so it's sloping down toward the left side. If you have the weight, please put it in the left hand. Toe pro group, left foot on the toe pro, rocking heel to toes. Or just press the toes down. It's all good. And now compensations often, like the shoulders start lifting up, or you'll start using your thighs. Your thighs shouldn't be working at all. No, none. You might feel your glutes a bit. Mostly we're working on feet here. Focus on your feet. Right. Okay, now check out, the knee should not be twisting, not at all. The knee is totally centered. It's your ankle and arch that are working here. Keep the hips square forward. Knee stays centered. Okay, that was really good. Recover. So the toe pro, keep it at the same angle. The weight still in the left hand. This time, right foot on the floor. Left foot up. Okay. So this time, the angle of the toe pro or the weight, they're pulling you over towards the left. So your right ankle and arch have to give you support. Don't let you fall to that side. Like when you're playing tennis or something and you're leaning toward that side, it'll help you hold your leg in place. And relax your shoulders and breathe deeply again. Tuck the pelvis a little, don't let your back arch. You're doing really well. And if you're new to these feet strengthening exercises, don't be surprised because they're definitely very challenging. It's kind of amazing, right? You think how small your feet are, and they have to support your body all the time when you're running and walking and things. That was fantastic. Okay, now if you have the toe pro, turn it around. Now this tends to be the weakest angle. Left foot on the floor, or toe pro, sloping down towards the right. So it's kind of making your left foot want to drop in. The weight should be in the right hand. Right foot up. So make sure you're going heel outside of foot, baby toe. Do press the big toe down. Now do not allow the knee to twist. Hips are square forward, shoulders are square forward. So you should not be grabbing with your thighs. Just work your foot the best you can. And when you're tired, just walk around. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. When you come to the toes and when you come back, just keep the arch lifted. Avoid letting the ankle pronate. And we'll be doing a lot of walking. And often people have this idea that walking is like the exercise, right? Which it is. It's a good movement. It's an activity. However, we need to make sure your feet are strong enough to walk, to tell you the truth. So that's why we're doing this, to build up the muscular support. So now one more thing we need to do for the feet is we've done strengthening there. So you should, as you get off the toe pro, you should feel like your feet have worked pretty hard. And now we just want to integrate the pattern into our bodies. So if you could take a step and stop, the back foot, come right up on the tip of the big toe and stop there, get stable before you step through. Now, in terms of the knees, commonly knees break down when the femur, the leg bone, goes too far forward and it backs into the kneecap. So right now, as you're doing this exercise, if you notice that front foot, your front leg, you shouldn't feel pressure into the knee. So when you step, if you could stabilize that foot, keep it flat on the ground until the back foot starts coming through. If you shift too early onto the toes, then you'll put pressure into your knee, right? And then you wear out the cartilage and all that stuff. And actually here we have a chance to rebuild our cartilage, which really is what we're going to do next, is help to rebuild those tissues around our knees and legs. So now we're doing lunges, and here you'll need a light weight. You might want to hold on to a chair. If you're an Olympic athlete, just use a heavier weight. We're doing reverse lunges, which means you'll step back and step forward like this, step back, step forward. There are a few factors. We'll focus on different elements of it as we go through it. But most importantly, the front leg, as you step back, front leg should be knee over ankle. The knee should not go forward. Then you'll, again, put pressure into the kneecap. The back foot, toe bent and heel up, knee bent. Do not straighten that back leg. You'll overextend your hamstrings and put pressure into the knee. One more thing here, the depth of your lunge. You can either just like do this, step back and forth. That's 100% totally perfect. Or step back, knee down, and up. But the same factors apply. Front leg, knee over ankle, protect your knees. All right, here we go. We're doing 10 reps in multiple positions to strengthen all the different angles around our shoulders and knees. First position is if you can do it overhead arm. If that doesn't work, have arm at shoulder level or by the side. So if you can, right arm overhead, right arm, and left leg steps back. That's perfect. Recover. Okay, now next angle, left arm with the weight. Overhead or whatever works for you. And right leg back. Recover. Okay, so next position here, it's the same leg, left leg forward, right leg back, right hand with the weight. So it's the other side. Right arm has the weight, left leg working. Right, that means right leg goes back. Right arm, right leg back. The front leg is the working leg. Recover. Okay, now the main part of lunges is really the glutes. The front leg glutes are the primary movers. Truth be told, because of everything we've done earlier, glute activation, feet strengthening work, core work with the presses, generally people just do it correctly. But fundamentally, front leg, foot, you have good support structure. The glutes of the front leg are the primary movers. Left arm, left leg step back. Think of the right glutes. Right heel toes, pressing down firmly. Keep the knee centered. Incredible. That was fantastic. I'm so proud of you. Okay, rest of it. So that was really step one. We're going to go through that twice more in different positions. If you'd like to take a rest in the middle section, here I like to suggest walking patterns. They're really fun. First is walking side like this with arm swings. You just keep walking side to side, let the arm swing. That's option one. Option two is back to the lunges. Right arm at shoulder level. This time elbow tucked in. Keep the elbow by the side, the hand in front of the shoulder. Left leg back. Right hand, left leg back. And rest. Good work. Okay, so now option one. It's like marching forward and backwards like this. But when you do the march, try not to pull off the hip flexors. So I like to pull the heel up like this more vertically, as opposed to lifting the leg up in front. And just walking forward, walking backwards. If you're doing the lunges, left arm, shoulder level, elbow by the side, right leg back. Recover. Okay, that was really good. Next, option one is like this, arms out to the sides, palms down, small steps forward and back. So I prefer not to do like crossovers because we don't want to twist our spine. Rather, if you just go a little forward and back like this, you're helping your femur to rotate internally and externally inside the hip socket. If you're still doing the lunges, right arm, shoulder level, elbow put by the side, left leg back. And rest. Okay, last set here. So just like this, speed skaters, stepping side to side. Or left arm, left leg back. And recover. Okay, so we got our core in, our shoulders, we got our legs stronger. our pressing action made our wrist better, bone density, we did it all. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again soon. Have a good day.